How long has this building been here, or the Sargent's business?
She said they did this in 46.
Well, they started in 46. They took over from Hump Nelson.
Uh-huh.
And then this building was actually finished in 51 or 52. Yeah, Hump Nelson, he established oyster growing here. He'd been up towards Shelton, Camilche or someplace, and he decided he would come up here. So he set it up, and he established pretty significant oyster beds here. And he also created some new ways for preserving oysters that would keep them longer when they went to market.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been written up in the magazines, and there's a book on him, and then they came in after Hump.
I'm gonna look through.
Oh, hard on me here.
That's a trip hazard.
Half gallon.
Oh, those are in really good shape.
Yeah. Yeah, the river's pretty well shot on them,
Just
but
happened to run it.
small as compared to extra small. That's just cool.
The Pearl of Allyn.
There.
Wow, it's huge. It looks like those shoe inserts. Turn it over.
It's bigger than my feet.
It's like
Yeah, it looks like Sasquatch.
I have a vested interest in this Sargent's Oyster House because I moved into the area in 1952, and when I got old enough to finally work to try and make some money, about the only jobs that were available out here other than brush picking was to pick oysters. And there were a couple, three thriving oyster companies in the North Bay area, Sargent's being the largest of all three. I worked just north of this building, probably 500 feet, in a little oyster company called Allyn Oyster Company. The man's name was Les Allyn, and worked there for about 5 years. I knew all the guys that worked here, but we were rival oyster companies.
Oh yeah.
Oyster companies, but we both did good. We always had to pick the oysters by hand. And so we were out in the middle of the night with rain and storm, and I remember even one time we were picking oysters and the saltwater puddles in the mud were freezing. These stairs are not to code.
No, they're top.
I always envied Sargent's because they had a dredge that was a scow with a cabin on it, and they would actually be able to go out during the day when the tide was higher in the wintertime and harvest oysters by scooping them up from the bottom.
Because it won't hurt them to sit out.
I'll go home and get those. There's a lot of people that loved oysters, and we kept all of the restaurants in Seattle supplied. Sargent's had many more outlets in Tacoma, Seattle, and up and down the, probably up and down the I-5 corridor.
Oh, you're gonna have lots of coasters.
Yeah. Yeah, there's boxes of those, and then the little extra smalls.
Yeah.
And I think they were probably, they've got a bunch of jars over there.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, there are very little historic, things in Allyn. It was a business, a founding business, And it was done in the 1950s, and they worked the family out, and they hired all local people. So that was a major thing, Local people, the Waynans, were there, and it's just unique, especially up on pillars, and it's just irreplaceable. Basically, somebody, some other part of the state, build a replica of it, but we have the original.
His brother used to work here. He was one of the ones that got out. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
This was the washer that it cost so much to open them because it was so
Barry. This would have been
Little song, I do like oysters. I don't like oysters because they were kind of...
This is from the 80s. They're full of that a flamethrower?
Weed burn.
No, these are tapered roller bearings.
Again, but if you lose the key, you don't cut the
Washington license number 7. Look at that.
Wow.
7th one in the state.
There was a lot of people in the area that stayed in the oyster business most of their lives, and a couple of them still live close here.
This whole area is going to be cut off. It'll just be put back to shoreline.
Okay.
So that's why we're desperately trying to get that out of here before it
Yeah,
does.
exactly.
Getting it off the water is going to be a real challenge,
Yeah.
but the movers tell us they can do it. So